We're moving into our restorative sequence, so I want you guys to open up to page 195 in your manual so you can take a look-see. And I'm going to use my little cheat sheet here. I did send it to you in the outline. It's page 3 in the outline that I sent you on Google. You're not going to sit down and look at it. You're going to get up and just have it close by so you can have a visual in case you're wondering where we are in the sequencing. And I'm going to just go ahead and start with a standing sequence that I really like to do with my clients. And we start with the swing in front of us. Okay? So we stand at the back of the mat. And there are a few different ways I like to do this sequence. I like to hold on to the top of the leg loops. I call it the nub. It's where the fabric meets the webbing on one side. It kind of feels like it fits in the hand. Does that feel good with everyone? I find that people have trouble holding on. Their hands are not trained to grip as much as mine are. So the other option is to use a wrist wrap, where the hand holds, which we haven't visited yet. So everyone do this with me. Put the wrist wrap around your wrist, put the hand hold around your wrist, and then grab and pull it down tightly. Yes, beautiful. So a wrist wrap or holding on to the nub are the two choices. Let's do the nub because that's the easier version. Standing at the back of the mat, we are going to practice our timing, pushing the swing forward. And when the swing comes to the front of the mat, we're going to lift our right leg up and get it behind the ankle, bunched up. If it isn't bunched up, then yeah, work on bunching it up. There you go. Perfect. Just in general next time, Deborah, if you're just in the forward swing, you'll have more room for your legs than behind someone. So it's good to just...
Should I go behind her maybe?
No, I'm just letting you know that, like, give you extra room. Usually I put my tall people either in the back or in the front so they feel like they have lots of room. Because you guys are all going to synchronize swim, so we should be okay. We're all going to lean back. When we lean back, we're going to straighten our arms, drop our hips, and get a nice full body stretch. Straight legs if you can. Inhale, bicep curl, lift, press your toes towards me, come up onto the ball of the foot and come into a split. There you go, beautiful. Exhale, lean back, straighten the arms, straighten the legs, drop the hips. Inhale, lift, bicep curl, press up onto the toes. Come as far into splits as it feels good for today. Splits are challenging for people, so it's always good to take it easy. And then bend the front knee. Push your hips forward into a forward lunge. Now from here we can switch from holding onto the leg loops to pressing our arms through center. I call it victory. So like ta-da, lift the chest, look up. So in all the poses we look up. We don't ever look down. We're really retraining the crown of the head to point towards the sky. And if you look down, the crown of the head is pointing more towards the corner of the room, right? So victory. Holding on to the swing, roll your back heel down. So use the swing to help you stabilize. Let the right knee and the right elbow meet. Push the back of the head into the swing to open up the chest. See if that feels good to find your balance. You're gonna have to really work the inner thigh, right? Can always back off if that's too much, but see how far you can go. If it's comfortable, your left hand can reach up towards the sky or towards the front of the room on a big diagonal. Press into the back heel and reach up and out. Yeah. Press the back of the head strongly into the swing to lift the chest. Now this is as far as we would go in a restorative practice. If you want to go further, we can extend the front leg, reach for the foot, and spin it open. But that would be a more advanced pose, kind of like Hanuman, right? So don't worry about that today. Reach up, grab onto the swing with both hands. Turn all your toes forward, find your center, and then press the swing back down to the ankle. Wiggle it nice and slow, like you're massaging out the back of the leg. I like to hold on to each side of the swing and steer. So we're just pushing and pulling in the space, letting the chest come down towards the knee, but keeping the head in line with the body. Even here, see if your gaze can be forward towards your toes. Pulling forward and back in the space, lifting up, and then straightening the arms again. Stretching the nerve path in the back of the leg, flexing the toes back, even the pinky toe comes back. And then we're gonna try and balance. So let's hug the swing with our forearms, lifting the toes eye level if possible. And then keep the left forearm hooked. The right hand is gonna float back behind you and look towards your thumb. Gaze back. If you can find the balance. Yeah, stay right underneath your plumb line so that you keep your balance. And then hook with both forearms again, come forward. Switch sides. So reverse twist. So we're going to go ahead and reach back with our left arm. Keep your toes flexed back. Look back towards your left thumb if you can balance. Come on back to center. From here, we're going to bend the knee out to the side for a pigeon pose. Another standing pigeon. How exciting. Roll the ankle around. Reach up, grab for the hand holds. Put them on the wrist. If you can do a wrist wrap, we can hang. If you're just holding on with your fingertips, we're not going to hang. Bend your standing leg and let yourself float. Right? Keeping both knees bent for this version. You can actually wrap your left knee on top of the foot for I Dream of Jeannie and play in the space a little bit. Pushing the hips over to the side. Maybe straightening one leg and then the other leg. Alternating and playing in the space. Whatever feels good. Have some fun with it. Oh, so good. Okay, both legs straight. Get both feet in there. Push your feet, bottoms of the feet together, knees open wide for a version of flying monkey. Lift the chest, arch and open. Beautiful. Go ahead and straighten both legs. We're going to switch in the air. So we're going to leave the left foot up there. Right foot is going to find the back of the mat. Let's try it with straight legs. Good timing, everyone. Good job. Let's try it with the wrist wrap. Straight legs, leaning back. We're not going to go nearly as far as when we had the leg loops in our hands. And then we're going to bicep curl, arch it open, press, 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 and lift up onto the toes. Exhale, lean back, straight arms, straight legs. Try and sync up. There we go. Inhale, lift, arch and open. Press, press, press. Go as far as it feels good. Arch and open. Exhale, sink back. Okay, this time we press forward. We're going to stay forward. Bend the knee. Slide into a forward lunge. Roll the back heel down. Once the back heel rolls down, the left elbow can find the left knee. See if you can release the hand hold. I like to press the arm overhead. Right arm overhead, and then out on a diagonal in front. Push the back of your head into the swing. And just take a pause there. There you go. If you want to straighten the front leg and try a variation, go for it, only if it feels good. Otherwise, just stay where you are. Reach up and grab the swing with both hands. Turn all toes forward. Come on back to center. Press the swing down towards the ankle, giving yourself a nice little massage to the back of the leg. I call it steering, where we bank from side to side, pushing and pulling in the space. Letting the chest drop towards the knee as we keep our gaze slightly up towards our toes. Looking up. Hamstrings are tight on people, so try to have fun with it. Find your balance. It's a little bit easier to do the standing poses with the swing than without. Positive thinking. Lift the toes and then press forward. Hanging out in the space as far as it feels good for today and rolling the ankle around, playing with it. Wrap your forearms around the swing and pull up. Find your plumb line, your vertical axes. Let's go ahead and keep the left arm hooked. Right arm is going to go back behind you. Look towards the thumb. Stack the bones. Arch and open from the heart. Keep it lifted. Beautiful. Come on back to center. Wrap both arms around. Hook your right forearm so your left arm can float back behind you. Looking towards the left thumb. Standing revolved twist. Come on back to center. Hold on to the swing with both hands. Take a breath, take a pause. Let the left knee bend out to the side. And we're in our standing pigeon pose. Before we float, we want to make sure that we have our hand holds. wrist wrap. Bend the standing leg so you stay right underneath your plumb line, nice and easy. Bend both knees and float. Beautiful, guys. I dream of Genie. Wrap the right knee on top of the left foot and play in the space. See what feels good for today. Just enjoy floating and flying. There's lots of variations we can do from here. Beautiful. Okay, both legs go through center. We're going to change it up. This is what it looks like. You can watch me for the first round if you need to. I'm going to pick up my left knee. My knee is going to go through center, so I land on my shin, and then I'm going to step my right foot down. So the shin, get the knee through center so you land on the top of the shin, like that. That's it. Yeah, just watch for this one. Okay, now we're in Nataraja. Okay, we can bring our arms through and drop our hips and come into a big stretch here. It is a big stretch. So if this becomes too much, I can come up and hold on to the leg loops in my hands. I can hold on to the top of the nubs, and I can come down a little bit lower. You can even put those on the shoulders and just hang out here. Yeah. So try the leg loops because we're going to move into another pose from there. Okay, from here, I'm going to go ahead and extend my arms, extend my legs into a warrior three. Beautiful. Staying right underneath your axes. Come on out for angel wings, airplane. Yeah. Think from side to side. Beautiful, guys. All right, so this is when it gets fun. We're going to switch in the air. I'm going to bring my left foot down, and then you're going to lean forward and see if you can hook your right foot. Just go on back and find it. Use some magic if you need, but we're switching sides somehow. I know, everyone's like, what? And this is the easiest way I can do it. There you go. Beautiful, Deborah. Yeah, one way or another, get your foot up there. Yeah, you use the magic, use the force. Good. So let's reverse it. Airplane wings, warrior three, arms out in front. Reach up, hold on to the leg loops, press yourself up. Let's come back into the nub, lower it down. Ooh, that's a good stretch. So my head is still pointing towards the sky. We're always slightly looking up, right? Crown of the head. Bicep curl, pull yourself up. Let's reach for our hand holds. Now we could have just gone back and switched sides and gone into Nataraja the other way too. But it's always fun to reverse things and say, oh, how do you do it backwards? So now we're back where we started. And this is another way of how we can switch. We can switch like this, get both feet hooked, bring the other foot down. Some people don't like that either. There's a lot of options that people don't like here. Nataraja is challenging, right? Let's try it again. Hook, big stretch, other foot down. Yeah, a little tricky. Either way, we're gonna come to stand. Yep, let both feet come out. If you point your toes towards the sky, come right out. Ta-da! Awesome. Okay, that is the extended standing sequence with lots of variations. From there, we're gonna go into a full body hang on Sunday. But for now, we're gonna come on down and we're gonna practice on the floor, which is really, really nice. So what we're gonna do is use the leg loops in our hands. The swing is behind our back. We're just gonna use the leg loops in our hands for now. Typically, when I do my practice, I like to come into a few push-ups. So some people don't find that to be restorative, but I really like the idea of being able to come out on an angle and getting a few push-ups in. From there, I'm gonna bend my knees, kneel to the front of the mat. As soon as I come down, my arms go wide and around, and I'm gonna dive in for a child's pose. My forehead is towards the front of the mat, so I wiggle my knees back a good quarter of the way. Okay, my arms are extended. I'm gonna let myself gently rock from side to side. See if that feels good. And take my time breathing into my kidneys and dropping in, rounding my back. My forehead will probably not touch down unless you lower your leg loops, which you can do. You can bring them up or down for your personalized comfort level. If for any reason you work with somebody who doesn't enjoy kneeling, you can actually come up And let the leg loops be on your elbows so you only come down a little bit. Typically I'll tuck my toes under them. So just try that to see how it feels. It's a lot like when we're flexing. So right now we have done so much chest opening that our bodies are like, okay, that's enough chest, but that is an option. Okay, now we're gonna swim it out, is what I call it. Drop back into the leg loops in your hands. Inhale, arch and open, lift the chest. Exhale, swim the arms overhead. And we're gonna drop the chest and then lift the chest, doing tiny little presses here. Keep your ears above your biceps the whole time and notice the difference. We don't really want to drop our heads past the level of our arms for any of these poses, just to keep the shoulders happy. Hands are shoulder distance or a little bit pulled in, more narrow. We don't want them to go too wide. And we really want to lift with our arms pressing down. Just undulate the spine a few times. Okay. Keep your head above your ears. Yeah. That's not it. Keep your head above your biceps. Thank you for just smiling at me. You're like, keep your head above your ears, Barbara. Come on. Figure that one out. It's like a cone. What does it sound like when your head is above your ears? Okay, so then we're going to swim our arms wide and around. Dive in. Drop your forehead towards the ground. Shake it out. And another time, inhale, arch and open, lift your gaze. Swim your arms all the way around. Exhale, dive in. Arms go back behind you. Inhale, lift. Swim all the way around. This is really great for lubricating the shoulder joints. Exhale, dive in. Inhale, lift. Come all the way back around. Bicep curl. Turn your fingers towards your body. Sometimes a wrist wrap really helps here. You're going to get your head behind the swing. So it's like a camel pose. You're going to keep your elbows in nice and tight towards the body. Push your hips forward as you lean back and pull up at the same time. So swing is going to be above you. Exhale, lower back and down for a version of Supta Virasana, which we've renamed Rainbow, just so it'll fit on the playing parts. Inhale, bicep curl, come back up to Camel. Exhale, lean back, Rainbow. Inhale, lift, Supta Virasana. Inhale, Camel. Exhale, lower back. Crown of the head towards the floor. Inhale, lift, bicep curl. Feel your quads working here too, right? You can get a really good quad stretch and workout in these poses. Inhaling, lift. So we usually do clearance in these poses. We can try it, we don't have to. But we come back to a wrist wrap with our hands behind us. My toes are tucked under. So it's kind of like you're coming into rabbit, where your crown of the head is towards the floor and you lift your hips. But then with your toes tucked under, you come into a plow pose. And from there, you gently lift your feet, stay in a plow pose, and gently roll down with control if you can. I can show you one more time if you need to see it again. But from... Well, it only bangs on the floor if you don't tuck your chin into your chest. So we can try it. No, tuck your chin into your chest and push up onto your toes. Tuck, so your shoulders point towards the floor instead of your head. You have to tuck in even tighter. Chin into the chest. Lift your hips. Tuck your chin in. Tuck your chin. Yes. So your shoulders are, there you go. And then you can turn over nice and easy. You're only like 2 inches off the ground. Yeah, keep going. Nice. Beautiful. What happens is most people put the crown of the head on the floor and then it kicks the neck. But if you point your shoulders towards the ground and tuck in like a ball really tight, then it's like a floating plow pose. Let's try it one more time. Only try it if it feels good. We're going to revisit this on Sunday. I prefer a wrist wrap for this one. So first it looks like rabbit where our crown of the head is pointing down towards the ground. But as soon as we lift our hips, we tuck our forehead towards our knees, and then we can float, right? So it's like a plow pose, but we're floating. And then we roll down with control and straight legs. So we never have the crown of the head touch the ground. So yeah, tuck your forehead towards your knees. Yes, and then you can roll over. Yeah, and most people do that for the first time. But if you legs straight. Well, that's because we have a bum. We're blessed with a good bum. So yeah.
Good, that's good for me.
It's fun. So if we want to practice that with control, then usually what I'll do is reverse it, where I pull my hips to the front and then I'll roll back and then roll forward and try to gain control through the core, roll back and roll forward. It is a little challenging. So since we're doing restorative, don't worry about too much of the strengthening, but that's how I wind up keeping the legs straight and rolling with control. Yeah, it's a little harder than it looks. Okay, we're down on the ground. Yes, we are on number 5, by the way, in the restorative sequence. Arms, back, knees, camel, child, all that. Then I like to keep holding on to the leg loops in my hands. I'm really just allowing myself to have a little bit of lift. So I'm going to come into a wide straddle forward fold, which is really challenging for people. So the first thing I like to do is make sure I'm leading with my chest and keeping the crown of the head pointing towards the sky the whole time. And just try it, because most people are rounding and pointing the crown of the head to the front of the room. Just try keeping the crown of the head towards the sky and pressing your chest forward, deepening in the hip creases. So what's happening here is my tailbone is trying to shoot back to come forward. So see if you can get your tailbone to shoot back towards the garage door when doing this. Now this is very challenging for people, so usually I just hang out here and pulse in the space. But with the arms extended, then it can give a little bit of support, so that way people can have an opportunity to feel the stretch without rounding in. That's it. So we're rocking our pelvis, I call it. Sometimes it's fun to do little belly dancing moves from side to side here too. See if you can undulate the pelvis. There might be a little clicky spot in there or a sticky spot, so maybe do some loop-de-loops or figure eights, whatever feels good. Okay, so leading with the navel, long spine. Yeah, that's it. Beautiful. Now, if somebody wants to go a little further, you can bring one hand down and try a stretch to the side. You can try going the other way and play in the space. Bring the other hand down. See what feels good. So typically what I'll do is give a little bit of playtime to be like, experiment with what it feels like to hold on to one side. Maybe switch hands and do the diagonal. And the other side. Right. Most of the floor poses, you can see there's a big collapse for people, so having something to hold on to and pull up, maybe even bend the elbow, could feel really good. And then, we have about 5 more minutes and we're going to get a nice lung shavasana into it. We're going to pull our legs together. I'm going for a wrist wrap, but you can hold on with your fingertips if you prefer. Pull your hips towards the front of the mat and bicycle it out. Yeah, bicycle. Keep the chest lifted. Use your core. It's kind of like a boat pose, right? We could bicycle out to the side. There we go. Other side. Good. Do some breakdancing moves. Play with it, have some fun with it. Good. Okay, now we're gonna come into fish pose. So we're gonna bring our feet in front, arch, open the chest, let the crown of the head come down behind you towards the floor. Awesome. Okay, great. So, this part's a little tricky for people. One way or another, you're gonna get your feet in the swing. This is how I like to do it. I push one foot down into the ground, the other one comes up and hooks. One foot hooks, the other foot hooks, and then I slide it to the knees. One way or another, get your feet up there. Once you have your knees hooked, you can release the leg loops from your hands and come into a shoulder stand. If you have hair and a ponytail, you might need to take it out. So you want to keep your chin tucked into your chest. Okay? You don't look from side to side in this position. You can have your palms flat out in a V, You can clasp your fingers underneath you and roll your shoulders together and puff your chest out, or you can just have your palms up. Just find your favorite position. I usually like to clasp my hands together and roll my shoulders under a little more. But wherever you are, drop your hips and then raise your hips. Drop and raise. Just take a few moments to feel this augmented shoulder stand variation. I like to straighten the legs and then bend the knees again. It kind of works out the tension in the calves and the back of the knees. And then we're going to turn our toes out to the side. Let the tops of the feet catch the swing. And then you're going to straighten your legs and let your hips drop down. Try to keep your feet hooked. So I pull my toes together after they catch the swing. And then my feet are intensely working, internally rotating my thighs, but then the rest of my body's totally relaxed, hands at the sides. So this is another version of Viparita. Beautiful. Maybe spend a few moments turning your toes out, squeezing your toes in, playing with it. And then once your feet get tired, you're like, I'm done, just point your toes towards the sky and the swing will bounce off. Let's just bring our feet down to the ground, bending the knees, and just re-ground, get acquainted with gravity again in a new way. So that was kind of the extended sequence for the floor version of Camel and Child's Pose. And then we ended in Plow, shoulder stand, and then Viparita. So now we're ready for Shavasana, unless you guys wanted to roll up and have a discussion about anything that we did. Just take a moment to come to a cross-legged position, and then we can chat about what we're going to do next. Otherwise, we're going to finish up with another.
Can I just say something? Personally, I think that what we did in the beginning was more restorative than. That felt quite active.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's all relative. That's why I said it's restorative to me.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so all the floor sequences when we're laying on the floor, you can make them as easy or as hard as you want.
Yeah.
I was showing you kind of everything.
But some of the first stuff could be used as restorative as well.
Yeah, the child's pose.
Chillaxin and.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the entire first day is therapeutic and restorative.
Okay,
yeah. We will learn 55 restorative and therapeutic poses on day one.
Okay.
Yeah. Approximately. There's probably more now, but there used to be. So yeah, so what I do is when you're hanging with someone and they get woozy or dizzy or uncomfortable with the pressure of the swing, I switch to standing poses or floor poses to give them a break and show them that there's lots of different variations we can do that doesn't have anything to do with the swing under the arms or at the hips, or if somebody's experiencing discomfort or if they're just like wanting the variety of it. This is a good diversity for the class. And it is still restorative to me. Well, you'll see that it's restorative after tomorrow.
Yeah,
when
sure.
we do some of the intermediate stuff, which is all inversions and strengthening and core and all that. So anything that I show you, you can make harder or easier by going slower, by only doing the first couple poses. You know, for me, when we come, the basis of the sequence is coming into a child's pose. This is traditionally a restorative pose. Swimming around, coming up into Camel, coming back down. That's all the beginner. Coming back into Supta Virasana is definitely a more advanced pose. And doing like the bicep curls and the quad and all that. You can make that really easy, or you can make that more challenging. But yeah, this is restorative to me. The same with coming onto the floor, because you don't even have to do plow. You can just sit over to the side, come into the wide straddle, just hang out here. This is very restorative to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just showing you everything, and usually there's a couple poses that are more advanced. Yeah. Great. Cocoon?
Sure.
Yes. Okay, so Cocoon is going to have all the different variations just so you can see everything that we can do in Cocoon, which looks like what we did earlier, but I'm just going to review it again. Okay, so let's come to a stand in front of the swing. and everything spreads out, so you're gonna get a nice big handful. I usually say about 6 inches, right? And then bunch it up, get it underneath the thumb, make sure you can slide it all the way to the knees. And once it's at the knees, make sure you have enough to go over the top of the head. If you don't have enough, try again. You'll get used to it and get the sweet spot. Okay, great. After we get in the swing, the first thing I like to do is get my feet in there. So see if you can bend your knees and get your feet in. And once you're there, you can extend your legs towards the sky in a V shape, toes pointing up and legs straight if you can. You can soften the knees here. And the matching position for the arms is arms overhead with the elbows bent. And then from here, I usually like to push one hip down and then the other hip down. See if the pelvis can loosen up a little bit more. Even if we think we're relaxed, sometimes we're holding tension in the joints, and you can just invite them by wiggling a little bit deeper into the swing, allowing yourself to be held. We're just not used to this sensation of being cradled and rocked. It's very healing for the spine, for the nervous system. Nice deep breaths. We made it. You guys have earned your wings, completing all the basic training. I'm going to reach up for the outer edges of the feet, pulling the knees down towards the armpits for a happy baby. And then here is a great time to play in the space, bending one knee and then the other knee, alternating, straightening, seeing what feels good. Maybe try to bring your feet up over your head with the knees wide. Anything that feels good for a happy baby, just as long as your baby is happy. And then we're going to straighten the legs into a mini plow where you pull your toes over the crown of the head. I like to keep my bum on the swing so I don't lift my butt, just in case I pull out the back. So I just called it a mini plow. Okay, from there we're going to hold on to both ankles. Switching it up, we're going to keep the left leg extended towards the sky. The right leg is going to come out of the swing towards me, scissoring the legs. So go as deep into the stretch as feels good and roll the ankles around to release the nervous system. Release the tension in the lower body. Both legs come back up. Mini plow. Extend the left. Keep holding on to the right. Enjoy swaying in the space if you have the room. You can always bend the knees if you feel like there's not enough room to extend the toes. Just modify. Okay, both legs come back up. You can bend the knees, wrap your arms around your shins, and give yourself a big hug. Reclined child's pose. 5 deep breaths here. Feel your belly, feel your core. Enjoy curling up into a little ball. And then we can blossom. Long arms, long legs, fishtail from side to side. I'm just showing you all the different variations. You could do some of this, Lori, in the sound healing too, or just a little bit of active in the swing, either, at the beginning and end. It's nice. Yeah. It's fun to rock from side to side. Great. Now we get to find our favorite position. You can come into butterfly wings with the legs where the feet are together, knees open wide as the swing will let you. You can go back to Viparita with the legs up the sides. You're welcome to just curl up into a ball and give yourself a big hug and wrapping your arms around your chest. You can also use the leg loops and extend the legs out in front of you. So I like to stretch the leg loops out, covering the arch of the foot to the back of the knee. Make sure your heel is hooked. It feels a little bit more comfortable to hook the heel here. And then You can rest with straight legs. Typically, I like to either have my arms overhead if my shoulders are wanting a little space, or I wrap my arms over my chest and give myself a hug. See which one feels good for you today. We're gonna have a good 10 minutes of Shavasana. Maybe 15 if the energy is feeling right. So let yourself deeply rest and absorb the goodness of the practice. This is the most important time for integrating, receiving, recalibrating, letting everything go. You've earned it. The body needs to be reminded to rest deeply after a lot of activity, giving it permission to fully let go, unwinding the patterns that have been holding it in a state of contraction. We welcome the expansion. Soften the eyes, relax the forehead, allow your brows to soften, your eyes to deepen, your mouth to relax, your throat to relax, collarbones drop, your belly softens, your lower back opens. Just let it be simple and subtle. As this one rocks you, cradles you, nurtures you. It's quite a powerful sensation to let yourself completely be held like this, back in the womb. Allowing your inner child to be nurtured and cradled, soothed. Just letting all the sounds, light pass through you, all the vibrations become transparent to the noise, become one with the energies around you. Your consciousness expanding past the edges of the cocoon. Five more minutes of deep, luxurious relaxation.